Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Alt Kings podcast. I'm your host, Tate, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Coin Miyamoto, an artist, dreamer, storyteller, building Web Art Co. and composing XRPDudes on the XRPL. Coin Miyamoto, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm pretty well. Thank you for having me. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. How are you?
Doing very well. Very thankful to have you, and thank you for taking the time to join me today to discuss everything that you are building out on the XRPL. So let's get right into it. Who are you, and what inspired you to start building on the XRPL?
Coin Miyamoto. All right. So, like I was telling you before, I started working and developing on the ETH network. I spent a year working for different as a mod for a different project. As I mentioned before, Kaiju Kings, and then I started going down the rabbit hole of the XRP, and then all the coins, the utility coins, all the ISO tokens, and then started getting more into the community of the XRPL. Started meeting a lot of builders. Started going to AMAs. Started going to spaces, and I fell in love with the space. I fell in love with the community.
Nice. That's awesome. So, what was your main conviction coming from Ethereum based in supporting Ethereum based projects, building out projects, not necessarily on Ethereum, but working with communities on Ethereum? What made you want to convert to building on the XRPL rather than just staying to it with Ethereum?
Three things: community, gas fees, and I always ask to myself if I prefer to be a big fish on a small pond or a small fish on a big pond. And right now, as a builders, we all have a big opportunity here in the XRPL because we are innovators and early adopters. Like I say, sky is the limit.
Nice. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. And one thing I also like to think of whenever building out on a more sustainable chain like XRP, HBAR, Algorand, Cardano, you name it, these sustainable tokens, it's you have more conviction when you build out on chains like these. Because comparable to a chain like Ethereum, where the conviction might be there within the tech as it's an early adopter of cryptocurrency, this one of the largest cryptocurrencies on the market currently speaking, tons of user engagement and whatnot, but it's not scalable to the standard of mass adoption, theoretically speaking, with high gas fees, slow transaction speeds. Building out on a chain like the ones we currently are building out on, and for yourself, the XRPL, you have the conviction because the tech works and it's scalable to your liking. So you're actually able to build a viable community behind it and not have to worry about people complaining about all the little tedious things that we see on these chains that aren't necessarily as sustainable as the XRPL. Would you agree?
100%. And I think it's about awareness and giving the people that we're building in those other technologies the education and the information for them to start acknowledging these new technologies and more efficient networks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's this sea is open with opportunity, and it's a matter of people just learning and informing themselves on the opportunity that is out there. And one specific sort of opportunity that's soon to be coming to the XRPL is Web Art Co. What is Web Art Co. and what is the vision for this community that you are building?
WebArtCo, it's going to be a collective of different builders, projects, and visions. Right now, it's just me and my partner. We're basically building it from scratch. We're looking forward to implement some new technologies that he was working on with some artificial intelligence agents that we want to implement into the blockchain. But we want to start in the we want to go back to basics. We want to go back to the community before we bring in the big guns. I don't want to spill too many beans. He's gonna hear this, but yeah, WebArtCo is it's gonna be a collective. I'm a really big believer that when you put together lots of like-minded people and builders, there's no limit to what we can achieve, and that's why I use the word collective. And yeah, that's the main vision for WAC.
Nice. So it's mainly art focused, and I also saw things like music and comics are also going to be integrated into this Web Art Co.
Yep, our first launch is gonna be art, music, and comic based. So it's gonna be the dudes. I want to have a community where everybody has the dude's profile picture. I want to create this ecosystem so we can all. I want to expand on XRP community, like the ecosystem,
Yeah.
and the best way, in my opinion, is with community art, and what unites us all, music.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome. Did were you aware before creating the name the XRP Dudes that there was another project on the XRPL? I believe they're called X Dudes.
I
Were you aware of
wasn't
that?
aware of that. I wasn't aware of that.
I don't know if they're still around, but I remember back in the day, probably at least a year ago, there was a project called X Dudes, and it was pixelated dudes, nothing similar to yours. And I definitely like what you have building out, currently speaking, a lot more compared to that project. But yeah, I'd love to dive a little more into the art now and where your experience came with being an artist and whatnot, and really how you obtained and grasped the inspiration to create XRPL Dudes.
So everything started. I started working, like I said before, on the Kaiju Kings community. We had Dots, and he was a really cool artist. Like it's more pixel art. So I started working on pixel art. It wasn't my jam. I was really frustrated, but then it's a funny story. I got an iPad and I was gonna use the iPad for all fitness related stuff, and but I downloaded this app called Procreate and then started going at it. I started going at it
Nice.
every day, watching videos, watching for the shadings, watching everything. Then, man, the passion just came to me. It was I fell in love with the progress of basically creating, and it's gonna be an honor to be able to put something that came out of my heart and see it on a lot of community members' profile pictures. That's basically my main vision right now with the dudes.
Nice. So you hand draw them yourself on your iPad?
Yeah,
Nice.
a
Yeah, I've
little
seen some of
help,
yours, and I didn't know if it was you or not.
little help with from my girlfriend, but yeah.
That's awesome. So let's talk about the XRP dudes a little more. You plan on releasing this collection. Do you have an idea of how big this supply will be?
Yeah, it's gonna be 2024. It's gonna be 2024 dudes. I'm planning on launching on March, and it's gonna be a really low cost mint. And the website, Discord, everything else, it's coming probably next week.
Nice. So I'll be releasing this month. Tons of information will be released as well coming this
Hmm.
month. Reasonable mint price, like you mentioned. It's mainly art based with the benefit of having the comics and the potential music as well. Is there a genre of music that you are aiming more towards releasing with this collection, or what's the music look like?
Yeah, we're working on two genres right now. We're working on hip hop, like 90s style hip hop. I have my little brother.
Nice.
He sings and he works with the music. And then we are also working with some rock jams.
Nice. That's awesome. Can you walk us through your creative process when developing an NFT project and this being your first on the XRPL, simply from concept to soon to be minting? What's that process look like for you?
So I'm a lover of meditation and everything related to nature. So when I want to start building or I want to start brainstorming on something, I usually either go to the beach or go to the park, and I just go down to it. And for this project, it's funny because I really wanted to do XRP kits because I was in the park and then I was like with the iPad talking to my girlfriend, listening to some music and drawing, just going at it. And then there was a lot of like kids in front of us, and she was like, "What if you do a project called XRP Kids?" And I was like, "Sure, that sounds good. That's really cool." And I started working like on XRP Kids, but when, like I said, I was going to the AMAs and spaces. It came to my mind that it was gonna be way better if we just call it dudes, and
Yeah,
that's like the community, the vibe of the community with just dudes trying to make it.
definitely. And it definitely resonates a lot more with people rather than children, where children might not necessarily be for everybody at the end of the day.
100%.
Yeah. Awesome. That's very cool and it's quite exciting. Is there anything that you want to specifically touch upon that excites you the most for this month and releasing XRP dudes?
Yeah, 100%. So after the release of XRP Dudes, I want to put it out there. We're working on something called Resonance X. It's going to be part of the Web Art Collective ecosystem. We're also working on AI crypto and a few other platforms. But Resonance X what we're aiming with Resonance X and XRP Dude is to change the profile picture ecosystem. There isn't a lot of anime or profile picture focused big projects yet on the ecosystem. So we're looking forward to develop that Resonance X project, and we have two main developers that comes from Microsoft, former Microsoft developers, and basically I'm just gonna be the artist. They're gonna be working on it, and I want to make the XRP dudes part of that whole picture and whole ecosystem. So that's something we're looking forward to.
So you're calling it Residence X, right?
Resonance X. Yeah, Resonance X is gonna
Gotcha.
it's gonna be a
So
something we are all looking forward to. To
I bet, definitely. How will the XRP dudes play a part in Residence X, and how do you plan on merging those two together?
my main focus here is to not saturate the ecosystem and to not make too many tokens. So that's where we're going with a smaller collection. So for the XRP, it's going to be 2024, and then for the Resonance X, we're going to start with a Genesis collection. Every Genesis holder, it's basically going to be a squad leader for the main story of the Resonance X lore, but the utility, it's going to be basically once you have your token, you're going to be able to use your token as your main agent. It's going to be like your co-pilot, artificial intelligence co-pilot. You're going to have access to the network, and then you're going to connect your wallet, and you have your agent there. The two things we want to merge together with the dudes and the Resonance X project is that when you're a holder of a dude, you have all the copyright and all the rights to your character. And let's say once we have the ecosystem fully built, we have the economy of the ecosystem running. You can have, for example, we're gonna have that DAO, so you can stake your token and make decisions for your character based on what you want, depending on how much tokens you have staked. So every for the Resonance X, for example, every storyline, every comic is gonna be launching on every full moon. So before every full moon, we know we recognize the patterns for the full moons and the market pumps. So before every full moon, you're gonna have your time to think about what your character should be doing in the next chapter, how you want him to look, what are the decisions that you want him to look, and then we put that into the pool, and then all the decisions, all the characters, we run it through the AI engine, and we create the story with all the decisions of all the holders, all the imaginations of all our community members.
Very intriguing, I gotta say, especially utilizing AI to recreate a lot of these stories. I can't wait to see how this actually plays out and works. You keep mentioning a token. Do you plan on releasing a token on the XRPL?
Yes.
What's it gonna be called? Nah, you
XNR.
don't have to tell me if you don't want to. It's all right. I'm just curious.
Okay. XNR.
Nice. Okay. So it'll be a
Yeah,
utility token, really fueling Web Art Co. and beyond.
exactly. And it's going to be developed by what is called Core 8 Labs. That's our developing
Yeah.
platform. And we're going to be using Core 8 Labs to develop Resonance X. And it's all part of the WAC ecosystem.
Very cool. Very cool. How do you plan to engage with your community and collectors? And what role do you think the community plays in the success of an NFT project?
First of all, we want to start adding value to another communities. So before even launching anything, we want to provide value to the community without asking them to pay for something. So we're going to start
Yeah.
by going out. We're going to reach out to top communities, actually every community in the XRPL, and we're going to provide them with first whitelist for the XRP dudes. I was going to talk to you before about that.
Gladly
Keep your
accept.
like, yeah, and then what we want to do and our big vision here is for the storyline. We want to make collabs for the other projects to be able to have their characters on our stories, and
Nice.
that's our visions here.
That's very cool. So you plan on more or less integrating any projects that are interested in working alongside you and your team within your storyline and making it more or less a full circle XRPL ecosystem comic series.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
How am I getting this spot on off of these? Is it because I guess I'm just I don't know what it is. That's great. Anything else you'd like to add besides that?
I want to get to know you a little better. I want
Sure.
to get I was gonna ask you, man, how you feeling with everything going on in the market right now with Bitcoin going 67K, everything like it's. Bro, I haven't had anyone
It's
to talk.
unreal. It's definitely first of its kind. I don't think a lot of people were expecting Bitcoin to move so fast. I guess the ETF approvals were really helping expedite quote unquote mass adoption. Not necessarily mass adoption to an extent, yes, yet, but we are getting a lot more retail adoption of Bitcoin. And this world that we live in today, there's so much going on in today's history that none of it really seems completely stable. It seems just out of control and getting to the points where it's getting quite concerning. I don't want to go into the details or anything like that, but it's not that it's not likely. It's very possible that we could receive a couple more black swan events before Bitcoin truly receives and exceeds its price appreciation and mass adoption actually comes into this market. I do see that there could be more potential for downward turn. I was just talking to my tax advisor earlier today, and he was telling me back in 2017, Bitcoin shot up to $4,000 and then immediately went back down to 2,000 before it went back to 4,000 and then went from 6,000 all the way up to $20,000 within I believe a 1 to 2 year time frame. But it's always inevitable for Bitcoin to have say 40 to 50% corrections. It's just a matter of when and how it happens, really. But the market's it's showing green after green, so I can't really complain about that. I'll be here building regardless of the market sentiment, to be quite frank.
100%. I'm there with you, and yeah, I see the same in the horizon. I can. I want to say we're gonna get that run to 100K, but we definitely might see some corrections. What I try to do is try to quiet the noise, keep building, just keep
Yeah.
drawing, keep working on the computer. I try not to listen to too many gurus out there. I just try to follow my heart, follow what I'm doing, and that's the best we can do right now. And be
Yeah,
ready.
definitely. Be ready. Most definitely. And the halving's coming up very soon as well. And the halving does typically, from what it seems off previous history, the halving Bitcoin typically either decreases in value and the price tends to depreciate right before the halving or a little bit right after. So we could see Bitcoin heading a little farther downwards, not necessarily too far down, but say pre-halving, we might see a little bit of a short squeeze or whatnot. And then I'm thinking more Q3, Q4 of this year, we'll start to see that run to 100K. That's just my perspective on it. But it could really happen whenever the market makers really want it to happen, in my eyes, also.
Yeah, I think at this point, market makers is ready to outplay us and try to everything we think of. It's gonna try to do the opposite.
Yeah, pretty
But
much.
yeah, that's why I try
I
to play both sides. I try to
Yeah.
get ready for a correction, but also I try to I keep my liquidity ready, but I also try to have as much big as a position as I can.
I mean,
But
meditating, like you have already mentioned earlier, meditating really helps keep a level head in these very turbulent markets where the unknown is clearly unknown and we don't know necessarily what's going to happen next. And right now, we could be in a situation where BlackRock's really trying to jam people into Bitcoin, get all these people holding Bitcoin, and then swipe the floor right underneath us, drop Bitcoin back down to 40K, and then these people are more or less stuck with I guess you'd be like 33% losses and whatnot. But things like that are almost inevitable in this industry. It's just a matter of doing your due diligence, understanding what you invest into, and just continuing to have that conviction, keeping yourself updated and informed, and making conscious decisions rather than childish ones.
100%. And like you said, it does help and it helps a lot. And especially to quiet all the noise and all the nonsense around the space. And yeah, man, definitely in that with you. I also
Yeah,
wanted to everyone out there building and starting something from scratch and people that want to be part of a growing community and want to be part of the XRP Dudes ecosystem, man, shoot me a DM. If you have your project and you want to collab with us, you want to have 50, you name it, a few whitelist spots, we can definitely work something out. Right now, I'm currently in talks with XRP.com and XRP Cafe. Not
nice.
sure where I'm going to be firstly using it as a launchpad to launch XRPDudes. We're probably gonna let the community decide, or we're gonna make the announcements once we have that decision made. And Tate, I was gonna tell you, if you wanna collab with us and you wanna offer some whitelist spots to your community, I'm more than down to get to the drawing board and make a cool art for a collaboration and make it happen.
Let's do it. Yeah, we can definitely curate something like that, and I think it would be quite exciting for both parties and just to collaborate. Collaborating is great in this space. It only helps growth and it helps make people realize and understand the value behind collaborating. Because at the end of the day, we're all here for the same reasons, whether it be art, tech, or cryptocurrency itself. We all can be here and grow together at the same time as well. We are all so early in this space. There's enough room for us all to grow individually together as one.
100%.
Yeah, you have already read my mind on this, but what advice would you give to aspiring NFT artists and creators who are just starting out in this space, kind of like yourself?
Right now, try to first portfolio all your drawings, everything, put it in one place and start going to communities, start going to bigger projects, start working with them as a moderator. Anything works. Just be part of the community, learn the ways, learn the culture. That's something really important. That's something I'm doing myself, learning the XRPL culture right now because it's different. I was telling you, it's got a little bit toxic at the end. Now it's getting better and better. I see a lot of a lot of new faces in the ETH community, but basically, it's learn the culture, cultural things in the community. Is so important. Get to know faces, get people to know you, and post everything you do. Post it.
Most definitely. Yeah, posting your journey definitely helps the process and it helps resonate with people more. And I think if you're able to find ways of just resonating, being your most genuine, honest self, at the end of the day, that will set you aside and make you different compared to all your competition out there. Because sometimes there's people out there who just like to be two-faced. They like to act one specific way on social media and within this Web3 ecosystem. But if you were to meet them in real life, they'd be completely different. I can
Mhm.
guarantee it. But that's just one type of person. There's obviously many different types of people. But yeah, it's very interesting to see how people can act the way they want or how people can act a specific way but mean something completely different. But I think one great way of getting into this space and say if you want to start your own collection or something, find a way to provide free value first before you try selling anybody anything. If you're able to find a way to provide free value, whether it be supporting a specific community, supporting a specific cryptocurrency, providing value with, say, if you were to just do commission artwork or free artwork for communities, banners, whatever it may be, just finding ways to provide free value before you try to offer value as a monetary like value of some sort, if that makes sense.
100%, 100%. And like you said before, authenticity, whenever you speak from your heart, listens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like to see it that way. And that's one of the most important things.
Well, you got any closing thoughts, Miyamoto? It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and I know you got a lot coming, and so I'd love to host you down the road once more is developed out and you have more details to elaborate on as well.
100%. It was a pleasure. It's an honor. And 100% I'm down. You caught me a little bit off guard here because, I'm starting the journey now.
Definitely. It's a great time to start, and it's also a great time to we'll look back on this show, just like I do with every show I've ever hosted. You'll look back on it and you'll realize how far you've come after this show. Whether it be a week from now, whether it be a month, a year, 10 years, who knows, you name it. You'll look back on this and realize if you actually stick with it, there's going to be so much growth that you realize after the show. It's inevitable. Just as long as you stick with it, though. That's all I got to
Amen to
say.
that, brother. Amen to that. 100%.
Nice. With that being said, Miyamoto, thank you for joining me today on the Alt Kings podcast. I look forward to your journey on the XRPL, and I wish you the best with creating everything that you are creating today. All of Miyamoto's links will be linked down below. If you like this podcast, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, we will see you all in the next episode. Peace.
Hey,
Nice.
Ready to transform your learning experience? Step into the future with the Learn to Earn platform on Hedera. Choose how you learn: academic books in hard copy or NFT form. That's right, NFTs. Whether you prefer the traditional feel or a digital interactive journey, the choice is yours. Dive into the NFT, not just for the book, but for all the tools you need for success. Download the book, access tests, all within a seamless, immersive interface. Forget traditional logins. Simply scan the QR code, connect to our platform, and start your Learn to Earn journey. Pass your tests and watch your success turn into real rewards with Gcoin, our exclusive digital currency. Imagine learning at your own pace, acing exams, and reaping tangible benefits. It's not just education, it's a transformative journey towards success. Join the future of learning at gilmore-estates.net. Scan, learn, earn. It's that simple, and it's revolutionary.